Shirley MacLaine has been a Hollywood icon for decades, winning Oscars and enchanting audiences with her legendary performances. She was a mysterious, gifted, and self-reliant woman, and everyone knew it. However, behind the scenes, there was always an additional factor. For a long time, rumors about her personal life persisted, but no one knew the full story until recently. Her legion of devoted followers and those who thought they knew her well are in for a rude awakening. Every Hollywood marriage is intricate, and Shirley's is too. Her recent disclosure flips her tale on its head. Background and professional background. Shirley MacLaine came into this world in Richmond, Virginia on April 24, 1934. When Shirley MacLaine Bay came into this world, she brought with her the spark that would light up Hollywood. She was born to Canadian acting instructor Kathleen Karen MacLaine and professor and school administrator Ira Owens Beatty. She was named Shirley Temple when she was a child star. Warren Beatty, Shirley's younger brother, would too become a Hollywood legend. The two of them grew up together. While she was a kid, her family moved around a lot in Virginia, but Arlington was their permanent home. Shirley's ambition and energy were evident from an early age. The boys' baseball club she was a part of referred to her as Powerhouse, since she hit more home runs than anyone else. At the age of 3, Shirley's mother enrolled her in ballet classes at the Washington School of Ballet due to her toddler limping ankles. Her passion for performing began with ballet, and she dove headfirst into the art form, even playing the role of a male in productions of Romeo and Juliet and The Sleeping Beauty, just because of her height. She would go on to perform the entire act even after injuring her ankle, while playing the role of Cinderella's fairy godmother. An insight into her boundless energy. She realized her physique wasn't made for ballet, so she quit dancing for good. She showed the world her versatility by moving into acting and musical theater. When Shirley was a student at Washington Lee High School, she was a cheerleader and an actress in school plays. She moved to New York to pursue acting before her final year of high school, and had minor parts in Oklahoma before making her Broadway debut in Me and Juliet. Actress Shirley got her big break when she substituted for an injured actress in The Pajama Game. Producer Hal B. Wallace saw her potential and signed her to Paramount Pictures. She made her film debut in 1955's The Trouble with Harry, directed by Alfred Hitchcock, for which she was named New Star of the Year at the Golden Globes. Her rapid rise to fame began with 1955's Artists and Models and 1956's Around the World in 80 Days. In 1958, for her performance in Some Came Running, she was nominated for her first Academy Award. Shirley had a starring role in several famous 1960s films, including Irma Luce, 1963, and The Apartment, 1960, for which she received another Oscar nomination. With the release of her debut memoir, Don't Fall Off the Mountain, in 1970, Shirley ventured into book in addition to cinema, television, and live theater. The Turning Point, 1977, and Terms of Endearment, 1983, for which she won the Academy Award for Best Actress, were among her many film appearances in the 1970s and 1980s. Postcards from the Edge, 1990, In Her Shoes, 2005, and Steel Magnolia, 1989, were just a few of the films she starred in throughout the 1990s and 2000s. He continued to be busy well into the new millennium, making appearances in Bernie, 2011, Noel, 2019, and Only Murders in the Building, 2022, on Hulu. This Shirley MacLaine star has been going strong for decades. In 2024, she made a triumphant return to theaters with American Dreamer, Mystical Realms, Reincarnation, and Extraterrestrial Craft. Shirley MacLaine's fascination with the esoteric and the mysterious is proof that she has never been good at winning over audiences. Beyond the scope of any film in which she has appeared, her life has been filled with extraordinary tales of spiritual contacts, past lifetimes, and even contact with aliens. She claims, among other things, to have been the sibling of Ramtha, an entity channeled by spiritual teacher J.Z. Knight, who is 35,000 years old and who lived in the long-gone city of Atlantis. As part of her ongoing quest for self-awareness and the mysteries of life, MacLaine has addressed this in interviews and published works in which she mentions her connection to Rama. Her numerous best-selling works, including Dancing in the Light and Out on a Limb, revolve around her fascination with metaphysics and the pursuit of spiritual enlightenment. Everywhere she has gone, she has been led on a spiritual quest. In addition to practicing transcendental meditation, MacLaine has worked with energy healer Chris Griscom, walked the old way of St. James in Spain, and more. Her understanding of mortality, the unseen influences on our lives, and the meaning of life itself has been shaped by these events. Her career in film and television was not immune to her fascination with spirituality. For instance, she plays a guide who takes recently deceased persons back in time in the 1991 comedy Defending Your Life, written and directed by Albert Brooks. Postcards from the Edge, 1990, included her singing a cover of I'm Still Here by Stephen Sondheim that had lyrics changed to express a more spiritual, transcendental view. Her subsequent portrayal as a devout adherent of New Age ideals in the 2001 television film These Old Broads is a direct reflection of her own views. MacLaine's curiosity extends beyond matters of faith. Alien abduction and unidentified flying objects, UFOs, are further areas of fascination for her. When asked about the possibility of alien life, she spoke on CNN, NBC, and Fox News in 2007 and 2008. She detailed her personal UFO experiences in her 2007 book, Saging While Aging, including being a witness to the famous 1952 sightings over Washington, D.C., and even going so far as to say that she and her neighbor observed multiple UFOs glide over their New Mexico ranch for hours on end. Through these experiences, a new Hollywood voice has emerged, that of a woman who is unafraid to discuss openly taboo subjects that most celebrities would rather not. Shirley MacLaine has proven throughout that her life is about so much more than just walking the red carpet and performing on film sets. She is the type of lady that will follow her passions no matter what. That includes those who believe in reincarnation, spiritual epiphanies, and extraterrestrial encounters. Her openness and curiosity about the unknown have made her a fascinating figure for spiritual seekers and dreamers everywhere, not just in Hollywood. She had a lot of money. The breadth of Shirley MacLaine's career and the influence she has had on Hollywood are both reflected in her net worth. Her acting career, books, and speaking engagements have amassed a fortune that she estimates to be worth $50 million. Classics like Steel Magnolia, Terms of Endearment, and The Apartment were part of her over 60-year acting career. She made a ton of money from royalties and box office receipts thanks to these parts, which also earned her a slew of honors. As an example, Terms of Endearment was a commercial smash, winning 5 Oscars, including Best Picture, and grossing over $18 million in the United States. MacLaine is well known not just for her acting roles, but also for her spiritual and metaphysical works, such as Dancing in the Light and Out on a Limb. She became wealthy from book sales and public speaking, which these books helped to fund. She has broadened her sources of income through her involvement in New Age themes and public speaking. MacLaine has made smart real estate investments in addition to her artistic endeavors. She has lived on a ranch in New Mexico for a long time now, preferring a rustic, isolated existence. One reason for MacLaine's financial success is her knack for keeping up with the ever-changing Hollywood scene. Despite changes in the industry, such as the proliferation of streaming platforms, she continues to appear in films and TV shows. In sum, Shirley MacLaine's success in the entertainment industry is due to her adaptability, resourcefulness, and a wide range of talented abilities. Her contributions to film, literature, and public discourse are just as important, if not more so, than her wealth. Joining Hitchcock for dinner. Midway through the 1950s, Shirley MacLaine made her cinematic debut. Harry and the Trouble with Harry, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. Hitchcock, being a perfectionist, insisted on being by MacLaine's side for every meal during filming. Given his gastronomic bent, he treated her to the most prestigious dining establishments in town. MacLaine, who was not accustomed to such opulence having just graduated from the chorus line, thoroughly relished these dinners. This led to her gaining 25 pounds during filming. Nobody was surprised by this weight gain. Her looks worried the head of Paramount, the film's production studio. He supposedly warned MacLaine over the phone that she was hurting her professional prospects. Evidently, the studio was not happy with her new shape and how it could affect her image and marketability. This incident highlights the tremendous pressure that women in Hollywood back then felt to adhere to specific physical standards in order to gain roles and maintain their careers. Afterwards, MacLaine talked about how she was just enjoying the opportunity to have a hearty lunch with Hitchcock and didn't give much thought to the full consequences of her weight gain. She felt the studio's pressure and the unfair expectations placed on female actors when she looked back. Conflicts with co-stars. Both positive reviews and early conflicts with co-stars have been hallmarks of Shirley MacLaine's career. Among the most talked about feuds are those involving Deborah Winger and Anthony Hopkins. The 1980 film A Change of Seasons had MacLaine and Anthony Hopkins as co-stars. Both critics and audiences were unimpressed by the film's handling of adultery and aging. Looking back on it now, Hopkins says MacLaine was the most annoying actress he's ever worked with. The directness of the statement highlighted how uncomfortable the situation was between them. MacLaine admitted to their mutual admirer that she didn't particularly like for Hopkins's 2014 interview remark, adding, "I didn't like him either, but he was on the wagon at that time, and it was hard on him." The animosity between the two was both professional and personal. They were already under a lot of pressure from the film's flop and the ensuing Razzie nominations. Their difficult working relationship likely didn't help matters. Years later, MacLaine's career is still dominated by the animosity between the two performers. The personal life of MacLaine and Deborah Winger, who starred opposite each other in 1983's Terms of Endearment, was similarly fraught. Critically acclaimed and nominated for multiple Oscars, the film explored the tangled bond between a mother and her daughter. But behind the scenes, MacLaine and Winger supposedly had a tense relationship. There was a lot of conjecture about the two women's alleged fights and general unrest on set because of their differences of opinion. "I cannot deny that we fought," Winger admitted in an interview from 1986. "We first challenged ourselves, and then when we became weary of that, we challenged one another." Despite the on-screen conflicts, the film's popularity was due in large part to the performances of the two actresses. While accepting her Oscar for Best Actress, MacLaine said, "I deserve this." She went on to discuss love, marriage, and life on her own terms, in reference to her role as the controlling mother. Shirley MacLaine's professional life has been the most interesting and strange part of her life. From 1954 until their 1982 divorce, she was wed to businessman Steve Parker. Sachi Parker was born to them in 1956. Shirley has never hidden the fact that her marriage to Steve was anything but ordinary, even though it lasted for nearly 3 decades. During an interview with Oprah Winfrey in April 2011, Shirley discussed her open marriage with Steve. Shirley was promoting her 2011 book, "I'm Over All That." Even though she was married, she often found herself developing affections for the principal guys in her films, she explained. Curiously, this pattern did not apply to everyone. Her charming co-star Jack Nicholson, her co-star Irma Laus, and her co-star Jack Lemmon from The Apartment. Shirley's candor about these events offered a glimpse into the complexities of friendship, love, and infatuation in the entertainment industry, a facet of Hollywood relationships that was rarely discussed during that time. Shirley had a number of high-profile affairs in addition to her marriages and other intimate partnerships. Andrew Peacock, an Australian politician and 2-time Liberal Party leader, and Lord Mountbatten, whom she met in the 1960s, were among the notable people with whom she had protracted affairs. These events demonstrated Shirley's strong belief in following one's heart while being loyal to oneself. They were all a part of her journey toward discovering life, love, and personal independence. Co-stars would occasionally find themselves at odds with Shirley due to her extroverted attitude and strong will. The brilliance, charisma, and unique presence that Shirley brought to the screen overcame the catfights and won over audiences worldwide. Shirley MacLaine has consistently demonstrated her belief in authenticity, independence, and honesty. Despite the many ups and downs she has experienced in her personal and professional life, it was an outgrowth of her overarching concept to seize the day, live recklessly, and not be constrained by the expectations of others that she developed an unconventional outlook on love and marriage. Shirley shows she has no regrets and accepts her mistakes by being upfront about her marriages, even after her divorce. which is years later. Her life exemplifies the fact that love, like life itself, isn't always neat and tidy. Even if it's unconventional, the best people are often the ones that aren't afraid to forge their own path. Shirley MacLaine is an icon in many ways. As a Hollywood star, a political activist, and a family woman, she used her fame for good, making a difference in the world. She and her brother Warren Beatty entered politics at a high level in 1972, when they ran for president against George McGovern. She did more than just sign her name to it. She put on shows, hosted events, and raised money to get people's attention. That same year, she penned McGovern, The Man and His Beliefs, in which she discussed the candidate and his platform. Making use of her fame, Shirley also made appearances at concerts such as For McGovern and Together for McGovern, drawing attention to the campaign. As a co-producer for McGovern Shriver's women-themed variety show Star Spangled Women at Madison Square Garden, she made a significant impact. She stepped away from performing for virtually the whole year of 1972 due of her intense devotion. She went so far as to turn down film offers and instead put up $250,000, a huge sum back then, and almost $1.4 million now. Her talent agent was about to resign in fear that she would quit Hollywood. Yet Shirley remained unwavering. When it came to issues that were important to her, she enjoyed using her influence. Even Shirley's personal life has been in the news. Apart from her political career, her personal and public lives often blended into one another. For example, she is the godmother of journalist Jackie Kucinich, whose father was the former Democratic U.S. Representative Dennis Kucinich. Sachi Parker, her daughter, published an autobiography titled Lucky Me, My Life, With and Without, My Shirley MacLaine in 2013. The biography made waves when Sachi claimed her mother had told her that Shirley's ex-husband, Steve Parker, was a carbon copy of her biological father, Paul, a space traveler who lived in the Pleats. Shirley was ready to set the record straight on even the most sensationalized accounts of her life, so she categorically disagreed with this and labeled the book as vaguely fantasy. Despite Shirley's ups and downs in the public eye, she has maintained a strong bond with her daughter. Their relationship is highlighted in her 2012 book, The Wall of Life, where she explains that they had never been closer. This anecdote serves as a reminder that family remains her first priority. Even in the midst of her political involvement, UFO sightings, and religious excursions, Shirley MacLaine is an example of a woman who isn't afraid to stand up for what she believes in, whether it's in public or private, as she went from the Hollywood backlots to political marches. Rarely did anybody else manage her career, causes, and relationships simultaneously while she remained true to herself. Shirley maintained the same level of passion and determination that propelled her to stardom in all aspects of her life. Whether she was campaigning for president, fighting for women's rights, or navigating the complex dynamics of her familial ties, her fights in court, even when dealing with A-list Hollywood stars, Shirley MacLaine never shied away from taking a stand. In 1959, for instance, she took legal action against film producer Hal Wallace over a disagreement about a contract. From the roles they played to the way they were managed, the studio system controlled the actor's life throughout that time. MacLaine helped shake up this antiquated system by fighting Wallace in court, which established a precedent that gave performers more say in their careers. Many now believe that her lawsuit was instrumental in watering down the traditional studio star system, allowing the performers who came after her more creative freedom. The challenges that MacLaine faced in court had just begun. 21st Century Fox reneged on a 1966 contract that had promised her the lead in a film adaptation of the Broadway musical Bloomer Girl, putting her to the test once more. One of the major Hollywood productions was scheduled to be the musical, based on the life of the famous abolitionist, feminist, suffragist, and 19th century woman, Amelia Bloomer. The studio ignored the agreement and gave her just 1 week to agree to play a completely different character. Australia will play host to the Western Big Country's dramatic female lead in Big Man. Shirley refused to be bullied and instead went to court. The case made it all the way to California's highest court, which ruled in her favor in 1970. Since the verdict proved that studios couldn't just alter contracts whenever they wanted, it was a major win for actors everywhere, not just Shirley. Many law schools have utilized her case as a textbook example of employment contract law, thanks to her dogged pursuit of legal action. These disputes in court reveal a side of Shirley MacLaine that her followers might not know. Being an exceptional actor wasn't all she was. She was also an activist who fought for equality in her professional and personal life. Shirley MacLaine made it plain that she would not be coerced into playing a role she did not choose, and that she would not stand by and watch as strong studios took advantage of her fame and talent. Looking at the bigger picture, Shirley's victories in court helped bring about changes in how Hollywood handled contracts and star management. Her doggedness paved the door for more flexible contracts, which gave aspiring actors and actresses greater agency over their careers and less influence from the studios. At last, Shirley MacLaine speaks. Shirley MacLaine candidly discussed her 28-year marriage to film producer Steve Parker, revealing that they had an affair on Oprah Winfrey's show in 2011. Her explanation was that they were able to maintain a strong relationship and pursue their own romantic interests, because to their agreement, MacLaine insisted that the key to their long-lasting marriage was a shared understanding. A range of emotions was evoked by this news. Their unique partnership captivated some fans and Hollywood insiders, who were captivated by it, while others questioned it. MacLaine's candidness about her life sparked a discussion about relationship norms in the entertainment industry. In a subsequent Sirius XM town hall, she reiterated her views on how the open marriage helped their long-lasting love succeed, asserting that it was the relationship-defining factor. Opinions of MacLaine's personal life shifted over the years. Although her open marriage was unconventional at first, it eventually earned some respect as society's views on relationships became more progressive. A broader conversation about individual agency and the diversity of romantic partnerships was aided by MacLaine's candor in sharing details of her life. When we consider this period of MacLaine's life in hindsight, we can see that she was brave to candor. She defied the rules of her profession, which is typically characterized by criticism and judgment, by making public a very personal aspect of her life. This was a reworking of her own legacy that encouraged others to rethink commitment and love. Living one's ideals and being authentic are important lessons that may be learned from MacLaine's life, even in the face of societal pressures. One thing her life teaches us is that being authentic is the key to happiness and contentment. In retrospect, Shirley MacLaine's life and work reveal that she has never been one to play by the book. She had more than just acting chops. In her work, her spirituality, and her personal life, she was a pioneer who never stopped exploring new ideas. The bravery to challenge norms and go her own path is what really stands out. MacLaine never shied away from pursuing her passions, whether they were unconventional or controversial. Whether it was dancing in various styles or delving into New Age beliefs and metaphysics. Her career exemplifies an uncommon blend of skill and determination. Shirley was not one to sit around and hope for stardom. Every position, project, and obstacle she faced provided an opportunity for growth, and she never shied away from taking chances. Her career extended decades, and she garnered respect from her peers in the business, despite persistent failures including aborted projects and on-set disputes. Her extraordinary tenacity and self-awareness are on full display as she navigates Hollywood while staying loyal to her own principles. Attributes that can be challenging to uphold in a field as cutthroat as this one. Shirley has shown a commitment to self-improvement throughout her life, which extends beyond her professional accomplishments. By prioritizing honesty over pretense, she delved into friendship, love, and relationships in her own distinctive way. Her candor about her past has sparked discussions about individual agency, emotional transparency, and the value of living life according to one's own terms. Her openness and honesty have elevated her beyond the status of a mere celebrity. Because of this, she has become an icon for others who feel limited by societal expectations to break free. Her existence serves as a reminder that there is more to this world than accolades and admiration. It's about following your heart and being brave when you're not sure what to do. Shirley MacLaine's story is an inspiration for people to follow their dreams, be themselves, and not let anyone else tell them no matter how much the world tries to tell them otherwise. Happiness and success don't need to conform to any particular mold, as she has demonstrated. You get to decide what they are, The films she directed and the accolades she received are just a small part of Shirley MacLaine's career. She embraces life with a bold spirit, never stops wondering, and refuses to let expectations limit her. She shows us that living life to the fullest, being authentic, and deciding how to live it are the keys to a life well lived. Shirley MacLaine's remarkable odyssey comes to a close with that. If you want more videos, don't forget to hit like and subscribe and press the bell icon. Thanks for watching.